about the infectious and non-infectious diseases in the last class. So here are few examples of non-infectious diseases. Now non-infectious diseases, there is no such requirement of pathogen. That means they cannot spread due to the presence of germ, and they cannot spread from one patient to another person by contact or any other method. So here are few examples. The number one is nutritional deficiency diseases. Now we know that our body needs nutrients which is provided by the food. So if in any of a person's body there is deficiency or lack of any of the nutrient, then it leads to different kind of diseases. So the number one, it was already told to you about in the last class, and scurvy. Scurvy is a disease which caused due to deficiency of vitamin C in the body, and it leads to gum bleeding. Goiter. Goiter is the bulging out of the mass part from the throat or the neck region due to the deficiency of iodine in your body. Kwashiorkor, the person becomes very weak and the bellies bulge out. It is mainly caused in children, those who are living in poor areas, and it is mainly due to the deficiency of protein in their body. Light blindness, the person is unable to see properly in the day itself due to the deficiency of vitamin A. The second category is metabolic diseases. Metabolic means we eat food to get energy, isn't it? The food we eat is broken down, and from the broken down, all different nutrients are utilized and energy is formed, and that energy is utilized for the functioning of the body. So when the body is unable to do that, then it can lead to different kind of diseases. So the first example is diabetes. Diabetes means the body is unable to store to utilize the insulin of the body. The second is goiter. Goiter, I have already told about it. Hypothyroidism. Another name for the goiter are of two types. One is hyperthyroidism, another is hypothyroidism. Hypothyroidism means the person is unable to utilize the calcium in his body. The third number is genetic diseases. As we know, gene are the unit which is passed from the parent to the offspring. As I have already told you that there is a nucleus. Inside the nucleus is a nucleolus, and inside the nucleolus is gene, and within the gene there is DNA. So these genes are made up of codes, like computers have code, no, security code. Similarly, each person have his own code, and that codes are very specific and they are paired code. So if any disturbance or any mispairing of the code happens, then that lead to certain diseases. So here are a few example. Hemophilia. Hemophilia is a condition in which the body is unable to clot the wound. Means the person if get hurt, then the blood is continuously flowing, no clotting happens in that area, and the person may die out of blood loss. The second is thalassemia. Thalassemia is a disease in which the person is having a deficiency of oxygen carrying protein in their body, and that oxygen carrying protein is known as hemoglobin. Fourth category is allergies. Allergy, we have already talked about it in the last class, that means in class 7. So here are two example: hay fever and asthma. The next is degenerative aging disease, like when the person becomes older, then they get such kind of diseases like arthritis. Arthritis is the joining pain, okay, pain which happens in the bone joining areas. It is because the body is unable to utilize the calcium and potassium of the body. The second is cataract. Cataract is a condition mainly old people are affected with it. The eyeball become white and they are unable to see properly. The sixth category is mental illness. Mental illness means due to some mental problem like depression, schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is a condition in which the person start hallucinating, imagining things, something which is not real. He feel like he sees those things as real. And the seventh category is the cancer. So cancer is a disease. Actually, as we know that our cells divide to increase in number. So when the cell is dividing normally by normal division like 1 and then from 1 to 2 cell, 2 to 4 cell, 4 to 8 cells, then we call it as normal cell division, and it lead to formation of different organs of the body. Now it happens sometimes that due to deficiency of something in the body, it happens sometimes that the cells abnormally start dividing. That means two cells are dividing into 15, 15 cells again become 30. This how 30, 40, 50. This how the rate of number of cell is increasing very fast, and very fast it is dividing, and this cannot be controlled. So this uncontrolled divisions lead to the bulging out of the mass, and this mass is known as tumor. It mainly occurs in areas like skin, liver, stomach lining, uterus, breast, etc. And as you know, cancers can be treated in the early stages, but when the cancer has stages, first stage, second stage, third stage. So once it is treated properly, if the patient gets treatment in the first stage, the patient can recover, but hardly people do that. So the many causes are suggested for cancers, maybe by smoking too much, maybe tobacco chewing, maybe drugs, pollutions, even radiations, all can lead to cancer. And anything that causes cancer, whether it be tobacco, whether it be drug, whether it can be pollution, anything can that is known as carcinogen. Talked about the This video shows you how during cancer the normal cells become uncontrolled and they divide. This The second category is the infectious or the communicable diseases. Now, these diseases are caused due to a germ, and germ can be either bacteria, it can be virus, it can be protozoa, or any other thing. So, the germ which causes the disease is known as pathogen. A special name has been given to it, that is pathogen. Now, we have talked about it in the last class that these pathogen, when attack the body, they immediately does not develop symptoms that leads to symptoms in the body, but there is certain period, this period between the entry of the germ in the body and the appearance of the first symptom. So this period is known as incubation period. So every disease has their own incubation period. Okay, So let us talk about the different diseases. So the first is the bacterial diseases, bacterial pathogens, sorry. And what can be the diseases like cholera, typhoid and tuberculosis. The number 2 is viruses, AIDS, human immunodeficiency virus, chickenpox, hepatitis. Number 3 is protozoa. Protozoa, as we know, when we are discussing about kingdom classification, we talked about protozoa. So this can lead to diseases like malaria, amoebic dysentery, sleeping sickness. Number 4 is helminths. Helminths is another group of kingdom classification. Ascaris, that means Ascaris, we talked about the female and male Ascaris when we were studying about the kingdom classification. So Ascaris causes diseases like Ascariasis, Taenia solium causes teniasis, and Filaria worm or Wuchereria bancrofti, if you remember, causes filariasis. Filariasis is the elephantiasis, or where the limbs become very fat. So one by one we'll be discussing about each pathogen and different diseases. So in your book you can find the incubation period of different diseases. So let us talk about the diseases caused by bacteria. First category is cholera. So the first example, cholera, this is a disease. We usually say it as a waterborne disease. So this disease is caused by a bacteria named as Vibrio cholerae. The picture of the bacteria is given in the slide. Now how this bacteria enters into your body? When the flies, the house flies, sit on dirty areas, the garbage and all, then the germs are there. So what happens? These germs get stick to the wings or legs of the flies, and the same flies comes and sit on the food or the water which you are about to drink or eat. So when you drink or eat that contaminated water and food, that bacteria enters into your body. What is the incubation period? Incubation period is few hours to 6 days. And what happens when this bacteria enter into your body? Start affecting your intestinal tract, either small intestine or large intestine. Both it affect. Start damaging it. You can see in the second picture, the picture shows the intestinal tract, the reason, the cells of the intestine, and the bacteria attacking it. So what happened? What are the symptoms? The persons will start vomiting and it will get diarrhea, loose motions, and due to enough diarrhea, enough water is passed out from the body, and due to the lack of water, the person is unable to urinate. And when the person is unable to urinate, that urine inside the body becomes poison, and it may, if proper treatment is not given, then it can lead to death even. So what is the preventive method? That means how can we protect ourselves from this cholera virus? So the first thing is good sanitization is needed. Need to kill all the flies, need to cover the food and whatever drinks properly so that the flies are unable to reach it. And we need to boil the water before drinking, because when we boil the water, this bacteria dies, and so it will not affect our body. And we need to eat well cooked food. Now how can we get treatment from it? There are injections, anti-cholera injections are there, which is given in the hospital. So the second disease is typhoid fever. This disease is caused by a bacterium, a flagellated bacterium. Why we are calling it flagellated bacterium? Because in their body there are thread-like structures which are known as flagella. The name of the bacteria is Salmonella typhi. Now what happens? How this bacteria get inside your body? When we eat contaminated food or any drinks, okay, As the same reason, the flies will go on dirty areas and the germs get stick to the fly's body, and it will come and sit on the food, and the food becomes contaminated, and we eat that same contaminated food, and this is how the disease spread. Incubation period for the disease is 7 to 12 days. And what happens during this disease? What are the symptoms? The symptom is that continuous fever will, and very high fever, mainly during the afternoon, and the body start developing the reddish rashes all over the body, especially in the chest and the stomach areas, and the patient is urinating or removing stools, and with the when it excreting, this excreta is releasing the germs, and when this excreta is coming in contact with any other organism, that it can spread the same disease, and the person becomes very weak, and it is not sure that if the person is recovered, then he is not carrying the disease, the germs in his body. There may be the germs there still in the body after getting recovered from the disease, and the effective antibiotics given in this disease is chloromycetin. How can we prevent it? It can be prevented by vaccines are given, or by proper treatment, proper sanitization, and whatever we talked during a discussion about the preventive measures of cholera. The third type of disease is tuberculosis or TB. Now, this disease is caused by a rod-shaped bacteria named Mycobacterium tuberculosis. The picture is given in the slide, and how it enters or spread around. When the person sneeze or the person cough, then the sputum comes out, and when this sputum released out in the air or maybe in the dust, and when the other person, healthy person, come in contact with the sputum present in the air or dust, that he may also catch tuberculosis. So incubation period is 2 to 10 weeks. What happens during this disease? What are the symptoms? The symptoms are that this disease mainly attack the lungs or other parts, maybe like brain, kidney and bones, and the person is vomiting, and with the vomit, when it coughs a lot and the vomiting happens, then the blood comes out. It's because the lungs are becoming weak. So many person might come in contact with this bacterium, but few overcomes this, as the people, those who have strong immunity system, they recovers, while those who are weak, those who have weak immunity system, then they develop the disease. And if it is treated in the early times, means early stages, then the person will recover very easily, he will be fine. But it becomes really trouble when the person knows about the disease at the later stages. And which antibiotic can be useful? Streptomycins. It prevents the growth of the bacteria. It kills the bacteria by Mycobacterium tuberculosis. How it can be prevented? By vaccine, BCG vaccine, Bacillus camelliurine, the full form of BCG. And what are vaccines? When vaccines are the injections given to your body, so when it's given, it develops the immunity. That means whenever the next time this bacteria or anything will enter into the body, then your antibodies will know. Means the antibodies are the agents which protect your body from outsiders, so it will know, it will remember, okay, this is the enemy which we need to kill it. So it will kill the germs, and it will prevent you from any kind of diseases. So you can find in your book, March 24 is celebrated as anti-tuberculosis days. Apart from these three, there are other diseases which are not in your syllabus, but you need to know about it. So the tetanus, also known as lockjaw, because the patients of tetanus have their jaws locked and they are unable to open their jaws. It is caused by a bacterium known as Clostridium tetani. It happens when the germ enter the body when we step on any rusted iron or something. So what is the prevention method for this disease? You can take injection, tetanus injection, or any kind of a vaccination. Second is syphilis. Syphilis is a sexually transmitted disease caused by a bacterium Treponema. This is very fatal disease. That means it can lead to death if proper treatment is not given. Antibiotics are given in case of any person have got syphilis. The next is diphtheria. Diphtheria is mainly caused in younger children, and the germ which causes diphtheria is Corynebacterium diphtheri. It rapidly affects the throat region, and if proper treatment is not given, the child may die. The next is whooping cough or pertussis caused by a bacterium Haemophilus pertussis. It is mainly caused in the children, and this also need proper vaccination. And when the person is in the early stages of their life, then they usually get the triple vaccine, DPT, and diphtheria vaccines. It is for the diphtheria, whooping cough, and tetanus together. So it is known as DPT. This vaccine is given to young ones, or it can be given in adult age, but it is usually given in young age. The next is pneumonia caused by a bacterium known as Streptococcus pneumoniae. Streptococcus pneumoniae is a bacteria which mainly affect the younger ones, and the person is very sensitive to cold. It can also be fatal if proper treatment is not given. So this is all about the diseases caused by the bacteria. So mainly you have to study about cholera, typhoid fever, and tuberculosis. Its incubation period, how it is transmitted, what are the symptoms, and how it can be prevented. Everything need to be thorough about, and we will discuss about the diseases caused by protozoa in the next class. Here I have provided the pictures of few of the bacteria. Like the first picture showing the red color bacteria is of tetanus. It is Clostridium tetani. The second picture, the spiral bacteria, is the syphilis bacteria, that is Treponema. And the third bacteria, which is in blue color, is the bacteria of diphtheria, that is Corynebacterium diphtheri. And the pink color bacteria, which you can see down, that is the bacteria of whooping cough, that is Haemophilus pertussis. And the last picture shows the bacteria of pneumonia, that is Streptococcus pneumoniae.